And welcome back to the WHHI-TV Daily News. With me now is Alex Brown. He is, of course, part of Town Council. Always good to see you.
Same here. How we been?
Yeah, very well, thank you. How about you?
Doing well. Trying to stay cool.
Yeah, I know. It's a little steamy out there. So we've got the bridge behind us.
Yes.
At least for now.
Yes.
So we're going to kind of talk about some other priorities that now you're focusing on with the town. And so basically the biggest one, I think, is land management.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, as Hilton Head continues to get closer and closer to build out, we need to be intentional about what that looks like.
Right.
So the town has engaged with a consultant to come in and help us rewrite our land management ordinance, which is the rule book as far as what can happen on land on Hilton Head, okay?
Right.
And some of the hot topics there obviously are parking, which is a direct result of some of our short-term rental areas where the parking is just not enough for what's being advertised as far as occupancy for the units, okay?
Right.
So that's something we've got to get a handle on, and this LMO rewrite is going to help us with that.
And how do you get, I know it's kind of a balancing act, how do you get a handle on that? Because obviously, you know, short-term rentals are a part of our business community, but you can't have people parking everywhere either. So how do we tackle that?
Yeah, well, you know, first of all, we got to have a very open dialogue with residents and also the short-term rental providers, okay? I think that's the best way for us to strike that balance. And if we're going to have regulations, I mean, if you're going to give folks tickets and that sort of thing when they're parking illegally, then you've got to have a system in place to deal with that, right? Yeah. And that takes money, right? So we've got to provide a revenue source to support this as well, okay? So those are, you know, a lot of discussions that we're going to have over the next 6 months or so that we can have processes in place so that we can start to alleviate the problems that we're seeing.
And what are some of the other things you're talking about as priorities as we go forward as well? Sure.
Well, you know, right now we're hot and heavy when it comes to visitors on Hilton Head, okay?
Of course, yeah.
And from a short-term rental standpoint, you know, obviously the occupancy is the biggest thing that's challenging us right now. You know, you got new homes that have gone up on very small lots, and they're serving 7, 8, 9, 10 bedrooms sometimes, right?
And those bedrooms have 3, 4, or 5 beds in, or bunk beds or what have you. So yeah.
So understanding that and, you know, finding that sweet spot in the market that makes sense for us on Hilton Head and also makes sense for the neighborhoods is sort of the trick there.
It is the trick, right? Because we want the residents to be happy because obviously they're here year round.
Absolutely.
But then, as we talked about before, tourism is a huge part of our economy.
Right, yeah. So, you know, this consultant that we've hired, they've done work all over the country, okay, including California, which you can understand that's very challenging, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so we're looking for a good product out of them. And again, you know, the message that I want to get out to the community is, here's an opportunity for us to have that open dialogue, okay? So that we can have the differences of opinion, have the differences of interest come together, and we have a product that makes sense for our island.
Yeah, well, and as we saw with the bridge, people were not afraid to come out and talk for quite a while about the issue. So are we thinking that we're going to have this same kind of discussion around this issue
Absolutely.
as well?
There's going to be many opportunities for public comment along the way. We're going to have some workshops coming up in the fall so folks can participate in that fashion. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, the meetings were long, obviously, right? But at the same time,
a lot to say.
That's okay. You know, we are a very open and transparent government here on Hilton Head, and we've got a lot of folks that have opinions, and we want to hear them.
Right? Yeah. Well, and I do think it's important to have that dialogue, as you mentioned, because even if it does go long, at least everybody has been, at least feels like they've been heard.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think that's really important. Yeah. So we're going to see you again next month to talk about, I don't know what, but something interesting.
Well, you know,
what's our sneak peek?
Next week, July 16th, is the opening of candidacies for those that want to run for office. Okay.
Okay.
And I am running for re-election. Okay.
You heard it here first.
That's right. So we can talk about that a little bit next time.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Alex, for being here as always. And we'll be back in a moment, so stay with us.